Hey guys, tonight we're pulling an all-nighter on the graveyard shift. The rain taps a slow, deliberate rhythm on the squad car's roof, like fingernails testing the metal for weakness. Inside, the dashboard glows a sickly green, painting my hands the color of old bruises. Outside, the fog presses against the windshield, thick enough to swallow the beam of my headlights whole. Somewhere down a side street, a single street lamp flickers Morse code nobody taught me to read. My radio hisses with that familiar static, white noise that sometimes sounds like breathing. I adjust the rearview mirror and catch my own eyes staring back. Too wide, too awake for 2:17 a.m. You probably won't make it to dawn after this one. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your location and local time in the comments. Let's see who else is riding shotgun through the witching hours. Now, dim the lights, maybe crack open a window for that midnight fog, and let's hit the streets together. The precinct smells like burnt coffee and mildew when I clock in. Standard graveyard shift, 2200 to 0600, 2 deputies per sector, 1K, 9 unit on standby. Tonight I'm solo in Sector 7, Beauregard County, Louisiana, where the bayou licks the edges of town and the mosquitoes are big enough to carry off evidence. I sign the logbook with a pen that skips, initials only, J.D. The desk sergeant, Landry, slides me the call sheet. Quiet so far, he mutters, but his eyes flick to the basement door behind him. Everybody knows the basement's off limits after midnight unless you're retrieving archived files. And even then, you take the stairs 2 at a time on the way back up. I'm barely 10 miles out when the radio crackles alive. Not dispatch. Dispatch uses channel 3, clear and clipped. This is channel 9. The old analog frequency nobody's monitored since the county went digital in '09. A voice leaks through, thin as cigarette paper. Unit 4 Adam, respond. County Road 22, possible 10-57, missing person. The voice glitches, repeats the call sign like a scratched record. I know every deputy on tonight. There is no 4 Adam. Haven't been since 1974, when Deputy Harlan Thibodeau clocked out for a welfare check on the old LeBlanc place and never clocked back in. His cruiser was found idling in the cane fields, driver door open, coffee still hot in the cup holder. Case went cold faster than the coffee. Curiosity tugs me south on 22, past the rusted-out Texaco and the cypress knees clawing up through the ditch water. The fog here is heavier, scented with decay and honeysuckle. My high beams carve tunnels that collapse behind me. I slow at the mile marker Harlan was last heard from, 22.3, spray painted over with a crude skull. Kids, probably, or locals marking the spot where the veil thins. I kill the engine. Silence rushes in, thick as the fog. My boots crunch on gravel as I step out, mag lights slicing the dark. The beam catches something pale fluttering against a barbed wire fence. A strip of reflective tape, the kind sewn into uniform sleeves. I hook it with a gloved finger. It's warm. Not sun warm, body warm. I shine the light along the fence line and spot boot prints leading into the cane. Size 10, same as Harlan's, according to the report I memorized in the academy like a ghost story. The prints are fresh, edges crisp, no dew inside the treads. Impossible. It's been raining since dusk. The radio in my cruiser sputters again, louder now, as if whoever's on the other end leaned into the mic. 4 Adam, suspect on foot, armed with regret. The last word warbles, stretches into a sigh that raises the hair on my neck. I thumb my shoulder mic. Dispatch, this is 7 David. You copying any traffic on the old channel? Static. Then Landry, sleepy. Negative 7 David. Analog's been dark for years. You need backup. I should say yes. Protocol for unknown signals, especially on a frequency tied to an officer down legend. But curiosity has teeth tonight. I follow the prints. Cane stalks whisper against my sleeves, leaving wet kisses. The ground sucks at my boots, classic gumbo mud, the kind that keeps secrets. 20 yards in, the prints vanish. Not fade. Vanish, like the earth swallowed them mid-stride. My flashlight finds a clearing no bigger than a living room. Center of it, a folding metal chair, the kind we use for interrogations. On the seat lies a deputy's hat, campaign style, sweat-stained brim curled like a sneer. The nameplate inside reads Thibodeau. I've seen photos. It's identical, down to the frayed stitching where the badge used to pin. I reach for it. The moment my fingers brush the felt, every bulb on my duty belt flares. Flashlight, taser, body cam, then dies. Darkness swallows me whole. My pulse is a drumline. I smell ozone and wet iron. Somewhere close, boots on mud, deliberate, unhurried. I spin, blind, and the footsteps stop. A whisper, male, southern drawl softened by decades underwater. You're late, partner. My name, rank, badge number spill from the dark in my own voice, but slower, like a tape played at the wrong speed. I backpedal, trip over the chair, and the hat tumbles into the mud. When my backup light finally kicks on, emergency LED, red as arterial spray, the clearing is empty. No chair, no hat, just a perfect circle of trampled cane, and, in the center, my own boot prints leading in and none leading out. I radio for backup anyway. Landry sounds wide awake now. Say again, 7 David? You're breaking up. I repeat the coordinates. He hesitates. That's the old LeBlanc grid. Last unit out there was. He stops. We both know. By the time I'm back at the cruiser, the reflective tape is gone from my pocket. But the mud on my boots is laced with something darker, thicker. I scrape a sample into an evidence bag with shaking fingers. Standard procedure for unknown substances. The lab will call it iron oxide and plant matter. They always do. Driving back to the precinct, the radio stays mercifully quiet. But in the rearview mirror, the fog arranges itself into the shape of a campaign hat, brim low, floating just above the back seat. I don't look again until I'm under the floodlights of the Sally Port. The glass is empty. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some partners never meant to be found. The wipers slap a tired rhythm as I leave the LeBlanc grid behind, but the mud on my boots keeps talking, soft squelch with every press of the accelerator. Sector 7 stretches into the low country now, where the asphalt gives up and gravel takes over. My headlights bounce off cypress trunks slick with moss, and the fog rolls in waves like something alive trying to crawl inside the cruiser. Dispatch finally patches through a routine call. 10 to 46, motorist assist, County Road 9 near the old drawbridge. Stranded vehicle, hazards blinking. I acknowledge, swing south. Anything to put miles between me and that circle of cane. Road 9 is a scar through the marsh, elevated just enough to keep the gators honest. Spanish moss hangs in curtains, brushing the roof like fingers testing for locks. I spot the vehicle a quarter mile out. Pickup truck, late model Ford, nose in the ditch, tail lights pulsing red through the haze. Hazards, sure, but the rhythm is wrong. 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. SOS in Morse. My skin prickles. I slow, park nose to nose, blues strobing across the water. No driver visible. Steam curls from under the hood like breath. I step out, boots crunching on shelf fragments. The air smells of diesel and night blooming Sirius. Sheriff's Department. I call, voice flat against the damp. You need a hand? Silence, then the faint tick of cooling metal. My mag light finds the cab. Empty, keys dangling in the ignition, radio tuned to static. A paper map unfolds across the passenger seat. Beauregard Parish, 1956 edition. Someone circled the same stretch of Road 9 in red ink that looks fresh. I lean closer. The ink glistens, wet. Curiosity nudges me around to the tailgate. It's down. In the bed, a single highway flare, unlit, and a woman's purse. White leather, cracked with age, monogrammed EML. I know that purse. Every deputy does. Evelyn Marie LeBlanc, 17, vanished from a church hayride in 56. Last seen thumbing a ride near this exact bridge. Her file lives in the precinct basement, box 56-09. Yellowed photos of a girl in saddle shoes and a smile sharp enough to cut glass. The purse was never recovered. I glove up, lift it. Heavy. Inside, a compact mirror, a tube of coral pink lipstick, and a Polaroid. The photo shows Evelyn standing beside a deputy in a campaign hat. Same style as the one in the cane field, arms slung casual around her shoulders. The deputy's face is blurred, but the badge glints clear, Thibodeau. On the white border, someone scrawled in the same red ink, still waiting. A splash behind me. I spin, light slicing the dark. The water beneath the bridge ripples, concentric circles spreading from nothing. Then a shape rises, slow, deliberate. A figure in a soaked sundress the color of bone, hair plastered to her skull like seaweed. Water streams from her sleeves, but her feet don't touch the surface. She hovers an inch above the black mirror of the marsh. Her head tilts. The face is Evelyn's, but the eyes are wrong, milky, reflective, like the tape I lost earlier. She raises one hand, palm up. In it, my evidence bag, the one with the dark mud. Empty now. The substance drips between her fingers, thick as syrup, spelling letters on the water. Late again. Fear clamps my chest. I backpedal, boot heel skidding on shell. The radio in my cruiser erupts. No, not mine. The truck's radio. It's the same voice from Channel 9, but clearer, desperate. Unit 4 Adam to any unit. Suspect on foot. Female, white dress, heading east on Road 9. She's faster than she looks. Static swallows the rest. I lunge for my shoulder mic. Dispatch, 7 David, 10 to 33 at Road 9 Bridge. Need immediate backup. Landry's voice cracks back. 7 David, you're the only unit out there. Repeat, 10 to 33. Officer needs assistance. I repeat it louder. The line goes dead. Evelyn drifts closer. The flare in the truck bed ignites on its own. Hiss, magnesium white, casting her shadow long across the hood. The shadow has arms too many, fingers too long. She stops at the yellow line, toes, or whatever passes for them, touching paint. You took something that wasn't yours, she says, voice layered, like two girls speaking at once. One sounds 17, the other sounds ancient. Give it back. I don't remember taking anything, but my pocket is heavier. I reach in, the Polaroid. It wasn't there a second ago. The red ink has spread, bleeding into Evelyn's smile until it drips off the edge. I drop it. The photo lands face down. On the back, fresh writing. See you at the levee. Headlights in the distance. Finally, backup. But the beams are wrong. Old-fashioned sealed beams, square and yellow. A cruiser crests the bridge, 1950 styling, chrome bumper dulled by rust. It slows, stops parallel to the pickup. The driver door opens. Harlan Thibodeau steps out, uniform crisp despite decades in the mud. His badge catches the flare light, throws it back like a wink. He looks exactly like the Academy photo, except his eyes are the same milky white as Evelyn's. He tips his hat to me, then to her. "Evening, partner," he says, voice warm as bourbon. "She's been waiting on you." Evelyn smiles, teeth too sharp. The flare gutters. Darkness rushes in, thick as floodwater. When my backup arrives, Landry and a rookie named Chun, the bridge is empty. No truck, no purse, no flare. Just my cruiser, hazards blinking SOS, and wet footprints leading from the driver door to the guardrail, then over. Size 10, same as before. Chun shines his light down. The water is still, black glass. "You okay, J.D.?" Landry asks. I nod, but my throat tastes of iron. Back at the precinct, I pull box 56-09. The purse is logged as missing, but there's a new evidence tag clipped to the file, dated tonight. My handwriting. Inside, the Polaroid, dry now, red ink faded to rust. On the back, someone added a postscript in ballpoint. "Levy at 4 a.m., don't be late again." I checked the time, 3:47. The basement clock is frozen at 3:33. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some rides were never meant to end. The rookie offers coffee. I take it black, but it tastes like marsh water. In the rearview mirror of the break room window, the fog outside shapes itself into a woman waving from the levee. I don't wave back. The coffee sits wrong in my stomach, thick as the mud I scraped off my boots. I leave the break room, boots echoing down the cinder block hallway that smells of bleach and old smoke. Landry's already back at the desk, pretending to read the duty roster, but his eyes track me like he's waiting for me to sprout a second head. I don't blame him. My body cam footage from the bridge shows nothing but static from 3:41 to 3:49, 8 minutes of snow and a single frame freeze on Evelyn's milky stare. Tech says it's corruption. I know better. I need the radio room, dispatch central, 3rd floor, windows painted over since Katrina. The stairwell is a throat of concrete and shadow. Every step I take, the overhead bulb flickers in sympathy. Halfway up, the air changes, colder, metallic, like the inside of a morgue drawer. My breath fogs. The precinct was built in 1932. The original dispatch console is still bolted to the floor up there. A hulking Bakelite relic nobody's had the budget to rip out. Rumor says it picks up signals the new system can't. Tonight, I'm betting my sanity on that rumor. The door sticks. I shoulder it open and the room exhales dust and ozone. Moonlight leaks through a crack in the blackout paint, striping the console in silver. I flip the master switch. Nothing. No hum, no warm-up glow. Dead. But the VU meters twitch anyway, needles dancing to a rhythm I can't hear. I slide the headset on. Leather cracked, ear pads stiff with age. Static pours in, not white noise, but layered, like a dozen conversations happening just beneath the surface. I key the mic out of habit. Dispatch, 7 David, testing analog channel 9. My voice comes back at me, delayed, waterlogged. Then another voice overlays it, male, urgent. Control, this is for Adam. I've got eyes on the LeBlanc girl. She's not right, over. Harlan again. The timestamp on the console's ancient LED reads 03:14:22. October 31st, 1956, Halloween night. The night he vanished. Curiosity roots me to the chair. I should call Landry, document the anomaly, follow procedure. Instead I whisper, "For Adam, this is 7 David. Describe not right." The static swells, then drops to a hush. Harlan's voice returns, closer, intimate, like he's leaning over my shoulder. She walks on the water. J.D. says she's waiting for someone to finish the ride. Says the sheriff promised. A click, then a woman. Evelyn. sings beneath his words, a lullaby I half remember from my grandmother's porch. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Mama's gone to the levee to wave goodbye. The console lights bloom, every bulb, every dial, casting the room in carnival red. The VU needles peg. Feedback screams. I rip the headset off, but the voices stay inside my skull, looping. I stumble back, trip over a coil of cable, and my palm slaps the transmit button. The room goes silent except for breathing, not mine. Slow, deliberate, through the speakers. In the moonlight, frost crawls across the console like ivy. My reflection in the dark monitor shows someone standing behind me. Campaign hat. Milky eyes. Harlan smiles. Teeth too many for a human mouth. Fear is a living thing now, clawing up my throat. I draw my sidearm. Standard Glock 22, 15 rounds. Because training says metal and noise solve problems. The barrel trembles. Harlan's reflection raises a hand, presses it to the inside of the glass. The monitor ripples like water. His fingers push through, cold as creek stones, and close around my wrist. No weight, but the grip burns. You're broadcasting on my frequency, partner, he says, voice crackling from every speaker at once. Time to answer the call. The lights die. Emergency LEDs kick in, bathing everything in blood color. The console spits sparks. I jerk free, skin tingling where he touched. On the main monitor, text scrolls in green phosphor. 10 to 33 repeated. Officer down. Levee Road. No backup available. Repeat, no backup. I know that code. Officer needs assistance, priority 1. But the timestamp keeps rolling backward, 3:13, 3:12, until it freezes on 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 33 seconds. Triple threes. The devil's hour inside the witching hour. My radio, clipped to my belt, joins the chorus without me touching it. Landry's voice, distorted. 7 David, report to dispatch immediately. We're getting 10-33S from you. From me. I haven't transmitted. I bolt for the door. It won't budge. The knob is ice. Behind me, the console prints a teletype I didn't know it still had. Clack, 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 spitting paper like a tongue. I rip the strip free. It's warm. The message repeats in dot matrix. She waits where the water meets the road. Bring the hat. Bring the girl. Or stay and broadcast forever. The frost has reached the ceiling. My breath crystallizes midair. In the corner, the shadow of the chair lengthens, stretches, becomes a figure sitting with knees wide, elbows on thighs. Harlan's posture from the Academy photo. He lifts the campaign hat from nowhere and sets it on the console. The felt steams. I back away until the door handle bites my spine. It turns on its own. The hallway beyond is pitch black, but a single bulb at the far end flickers on, then off, like a signal. I run. The stairs spiral down faster than physics allow. I take them 3 at a time and still feel pursuit. Halfway, the radio room door slams above me, echo chasing echo. At the bottom, the basement door stands open, should be locked, triple deadbolt, keycard access. Inside, the file cabinets glow with that same green phosphor. Box 56-09 sits on the sorting table, lit off. The Polaroid is pinned to the corkboard with a rusted thumbtack shaped like a tiny badge. Someone has drawn a red X over my face in the photo I don't remember being in. Landry meets me in the bullpen, face gray. J.D., the system's logging calls from your radio. Same voice, same 10 to 33, but the GPS pings the levee. Every 33 seconds. Started at 3:33. He shows me the screen. The map zooms on a bend where the road kisses the water. A red dot pulses. My cruiser icon sits on top of it. I'm still holding the precinct keys. I check my watch, 4:02. The teletype paper is in my fist, crumpled. I smooth it on the desk. New line at the bottom, fresh ink. For AM appointment. Don't keep her waiting. Landry wants to call the state police. I tell him to hold. Protocol says we secure the scene first. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some frequencies were never meant to be cleared. I grab Harlan's hat from the evidence locker. Logged in 1974, chain of custody broken a dozen times. And the purse from 56-09. They feel heavier than physics. The rookie watches me load them into an evidence box like I'm packing for a date with the dead. I leave the precinct without signing out. The fog outside has lifted just enough to show the moon, thin as a blade. My cruiser starts on the first try, but the radio dial is locked on channel 9. Static breathes my name. The levee road is calling. The cruiser growls down the levee road. Tires humming over packed clay that hasn't seen rain in hours, yet glistens like fresh blood. My headlights tunnel through the last ribbons of fog, revealing the Mississippi on my left, black water sliding past, slow and patient as a funeral. On the right, the cane fields surrender to a plantation house half swallowed by kudzu. The LeBlanc Place, 1847, Greek Revival bones, windows blinded with plywood since the 90s. I've driven past it 1,000 times on daylight patrol. Tonight it leans toward the road like it's listening. The evidence box rides shotgun. Harlan's hat sits on top, brim curled in that permanent sneer. The purse is zipped shut, but something inside shifts with every curve, a soft thump-thump like a second heartbeat. My dashboard clock froze at 3:59 the moment I crossed the parish line. The radio is a lullaby of static and distant pleas. For Adam, she's at the old kitchen house. Bring the light. Harlan again. But the voice is fraying, syllables stretching into wet coughs. I kill the engine 50 yards short of the gate. The silence that follows is absolute. No crickets, no river lap. Not even the tick of cooling metal. My maglite feels heavier than the Glock on my hip. I step out, boots sinking into red clay that smells of iron and chicory. The gate is chained, but the padlock hangs open, tongue lolling like a dead thing. I push through. The chain doesn't rattle, it sighs. Curiosity is a hook in my ribs now. I've read the file. 1956. Evelyn LeBlanc left the hayride at the plantation's service road, accepted a ride from a deputy whose cruiser matched Harlan's. Witnesses heard laughter, then nothing. The kitchen house, detached, brick, built for enslaved cooks, was the last place her footprints were found. Blood on the hearth, type O positive, never matched. Case closed as runaway until Harlan disappeared, chasing the same ghost 18 years later. The path to the kitchen house is paved with brick the color of dried liver. My light picks out details the daylight hides. Handprints in the mortar, child-sized, pressed deep as if the bricks were still wet. They point the way. Halfway there, the air thickens, sweet rot and wood smoke. A single lantern hangs from the live oak ahead, glass cracked, flames steady despite no wind. Inside the glow, Evelyn. She sits on the well curb, legs swinging, white dress pristine now, hem brushing moss. Her eyes are normal, hazel, bright, 17. But when she smiles, the lantern flame gutters blue. You brought my things, she says, voice clear as creek water over stone. She doesn't look at the box. She looks at me. And his. I set the box on the ground. The purse unzips itself. The Polaroid slides out, flips face up. The red ink is gone. Instead, the photo shows 3 figures now. Evelyn, Harlan, and me, standing between them, arms slung around both like we're old friends. My uniform is vintage, badge tarnished. The timestamp on the bottom reads 04:04:44 tonight. Fear tastes like copper. I draw the Glock, but my hands know better. The barrel dips. What do you want? I ask. My voice cracks like a rookie's. Evelyn hops down. Bare feet leave no prints. 1. She circles me slow. I wanted a ride home. He promised. She nods toward the kitchen house. The door stands open, revealing a hearth glowing with coals that weren't there yesterday, or ever, according to the arson report from '89. He kept me waiting. You're keeping him waiting. Fair's fair. I glance at the hat. The sweatband is damp, dark. A single drop falls, plink, onto the clay. It spreads, becomes a boot print. Size 10. Another drop, another print, marching toward the house. Harlan's voice leaks from the open door, warm and close. Partner, the scene's still warm. Need a second set of eyes. The lantern flame climbs the oak trunk, licking bark into ash that doesn't fall. Evelyn stops behind me. Her breath is magnolia and grave dirt. The blood moves when no one's looking, she whispers. Watch. I step over the threshold. The kitchen house is bigger inside than physics allows. Brick walls stretching into shadow. Iron pots suspended midair, spinning slow. The hearth dominates the far end, coals pulsing like a heart. On the stones, blood, fresh, forming letters. They crawl, rearrange. She lied. He lied. You will. I shine the light. The blood retreats from the beam, pooling in the corners, climbing the walls in thin rivulets. It spells new words on the ceiling. Bring the light. My maglite flickers. The Glock is suddenly too heavy. I holster it. Procedure abandoned. I cross to the hearth. The coals part, revealing a void, stairs spiraling down into red darkness. Harlan's hat floats at the top step, brim first, descending like it's being worn by invisible shoulders. A hand emerges from the glow, Harlan's, gloved, beckoning. Basement's where we keep the truth, J.D. Always has been. Evelyn's voice behind me, sing-song. One ride down, one ride up. That's the bargain. The door slams. The lantern outside gutters out. Darkness is total except the coals. I smell chicory and gun oil. My boots move without permission, 1 step, 2. The blood on the floor rearranges into arrows pointing down. I think of the precinct basement, the frozen clock, the teletype. Same curse, different floor. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some doors were never meant to stay closed. The stairs are warm brick. Each step leaves a bloody print that fades behind me. 10 steps down, the air turns humid, river-smelling. The glow shifts from red to sheriff's department blue. I emerge into a mirror of the precinct bullpen, desks, wanted posters, coffee rings, but everything is 1956. Typewriters clack without hands. A rotary phone rings. The receiver lifts itself. Harlan sits at my future desk, feet up, cleaning a service revolver that hasn't been issued since Vietnam. He looks up, eyes hazel now, human. Took you long enough, he says. Evelyn's impatient. Behind him, the evidence board is alive. Photos pin themselves. Evelyn at the hayride, Harlan's cruiser in the cane, me at the bridge tonight. Red string connects us in a triangle. At the center, a new photo developing in real time. Me, descending the stairs, face pale, hat in hand. The string tightens. Evelyn appears beside Harlan, older now, 30s, 40s, dress aging with her. He said he'd take me home, she tells Harlan. You said you'd find him. Promises rot if you don't keep them. She reaches for the board. Her finger touches my photo. The paper burns, curls, reveals another beneath. Me in Harlan's uniform, standing over a fresh grave in the cane field. The headstone reads J. Du Bois, duty eternal. Harlan stands. The revolver is pointed at me, but the barrel droops, sad. We can break it, he says. One of us has to stay. One has to go. That's the rule since the first LeBlanc blood hit these bricks. He offers the gun, handle first. Your shift, partner. The blood on the floor rises, forms a perfect circle around us. The typewriters stop. The phone falls silent. Evelyn's eyes are pleading now, ancient and young at once. Choose, she whispers, or the house chooses for you. I look at the stairs. They're gone, smooth brick wall. The only light is the blue glow of the evidence board. My reflection in the dark window shows the campaign hat already on my head. I don't remember putting it on. The campaign hat fits like it was tailored in a dream I never woke from. Sweatband damp, brim low, the weight of it presses on my skull the way a migraine warns of storms. Harlan's revolver is cold in my palm, heavier than my Glock ever was. The bullpen around us breathes. Desks creak. Wanted posters flutter though no wind stirs. Evelyn stands between the evidence board and me, age flickering across her face like bad film. 17, 30, 70, 17 again. Her dress stays white, but the hem darkens with each heartbeat, climbing toward her knees in slow, deliberate inches. Choose, she repeats, softer now, almost kind. The word hangs in the blue glow, vibrating the red string on the board until it hums like a plucked wire. Harlan's eyes are human, but tired. Decades of graveyard shifts etched into the crow's feet. One stays, one goes, he says. That's how the house keeps its ledger balanced. Been that way since the first overseer spilled blood on the hearth upstairs. He gestures with the revolver's barrel toward the ceiling that isn't there anymore. I stayed in 74. Thought I was closing the loop. Turns out loops don't close, they just tighten. I thumb the cylinder open. 6 rounds. Old .38 special, brass dull with age. One chamber empty. Russian roulette without the spin. And if I refuse? My voice echoes wrong, like the room is bigger than it looks. Evelyn smiles, and the temperature drops 10 degrees. Frost feathers across the evidence photos. Then we all stay, forever on shift. The radio never stops calling. As if summoned, the rotary phone on the nearest desk rings. 1 long, 2 short, 1 long. SOS again. I know who's on the line. I lift the receiver. Static, then Landry's voice, frantic. 7 David, do you copy? Your cruiser's on the levee, engine running, doors open. No sign of you. State police en route. ETA 6 minutes. The line crackles, then Evelyn's lullaby overlays it, sweet and poisonous. The timestamp on the caller ID reads 4 hours, 44 minutes, and 44 seconds. Same as the Polaroid. Harlan steps closer. The revolver in my hand warms, like it recognizes him. 6 minutes is a lifetime down here, he says. Time's different. You felt it, the frozen clocks, the backward timestamps. The house stretches minutes like taffy. He reaches for the campaign hat on my head. His fingers pass through the felt, leaving ripples of cold. Give me the hat. Take the ride up. I'll hold the scene. You file the report topside. Break the loop. The evidence board shifts. The photo of me in Harlan's uniform ages in real time. Hair graying, eyes sinking, badge tarnished to black. The headstone photo beneath it updates. J. Du Bois, duty eternal, dates filled in, 1990 to 2025. My birth year. Tonight. Curiosity is gone, burned out by the blue light. Fear is a living engine in my chest, revving. I look at Evelyn. What really happened in 56? She tilts her head. The dress hem is at her thighs now, soaked through. I wanted to go home. He offered a ride. Said the sheriff always helps pretty girls. Her voice cracks, 17 and ancient. We argued. He grabbed my arm. I grabbed the flare gun from his glove box. One shot. The blood hit the hearth and the house, drank it, woke something older than the bricks. It offered a bargain. One soul to keep the secret, one soul to carry it. Harlan came looking. He stayed. You came looking. The red string on the board tightens, slicing through the photos. Paper curls, smokes. The smell of burning chicory fills the room. Harlan's face flickers. Human, then skull, then human. Clock's ticking, partner. I raise the revolver. Not at him, at the evidence board. The barrel steadies. What if I destroy the ledger? Evelyn's eyes widen. The frost retreats. The house doesn't like loose ends. Harlan grins, the first real emotion I've seen. Then we burn it all. I fire. Once. Twice. The .38 kicks like a mule. Bullets punch through the board, shredding photos, severing string. The blue light stutters. Desks flip. Typewriters explode in showers of keys. The red string whips like a live wire, lashing the air. Evelyn screams, a sound that starts girl and ends hurricane. The dress hem races upward, swallowing her waist, chest, throat. She reaches for me, fingers elongating into smoke. Harlan grabs my shoulder, solid now, warm. Stairs, he yells. Brick ripples behind the ruined board, revealing the spiral ascent. We run. The bullpen collapses inward, desks folding like paper, floor buckling. The revolver is empty, but I keep it raised like a talisman. Behind us, the house howls, timbers groaning, bricks weeping mortar like tears. We burst into the kitchen house proper. The hearth is cold now, coals extinguished. The blood on the floor is dry, flaking into rust. Evelyn is there, kneeling, dressed pristine again, hem at her ankles. She looks up, eyes hazel and wet. You broke the bargain, she whispers. Now it wants interest. The door to outside stands open. Dawn light, real dawn, orange and merciless, spills across the threshold. Harlan shoves me toward it. Go. File the report. Tell them the LeBlanc case is closed. Run away. No foul play. Lie if you have to. Lies seal better than truth down here. I hesitate. What about you? He tips the campaign hat. My hat now. My shift's over. Yours is just starting. He steps back into the shadows. The door begins to close on its own. I dive through. The impact of clay under my boots is solid, real. The plantation gate is 50 yards away. Chain rattling in a morning breeze I can smell. Coffee, river, life. My cruiser idles where I left it. Doors open, blues strobing. State troopers swarm the levee, shouting my name. I look back. The kitchen house is gone. Just kudzu and brick foundations crumbling into the cane. No smoke, no gunshots, no Evelyn. Only the campaign hat in my hand, sweatband still warm. And in the rearview mirror as I drive away, a faint reflection, Harlan in the back seat, waving goodbye with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. At the precinct, I file the report exactly as instructed. Case 56-09 closed. Evelyn Marie LeBlanc, voluntary runaway. No evidence of foul play. Landry signs it without reading. The evidence box is empty. Hat, purse, Polaroid, all logged as destroyed in accidental fire. The radio room console is cold iron, VU meters still. Channel 9 is silent. But in the rearview mirror of every cruiser in the fleet, if you look at 4:44 a.m., you'll see a passenger. Campaign hat low, eyes milky, waiting for the next deputy to answer the call. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some reflections were never meant to blink first. The precinct hums with fluorescent daylight, but it feels borrowed, like a bulb about to burn out. I sit at my desk, report closed, coffee gone cold. Landry claps my shoulder. Good work, J.D. State Police bought the runaway story hook, line, and sinker. The evidence locker is sealed. The kitchen house ruins cordoned off as structural collapse. Keep out. By noon, the county's already spinning it into a feel-good footnote. Missing girl from 56 laid to rest at last. They schedule a press conference for Friday. I'm not invited. I drive home on autopilot, windows down, letting the sun scour the night from my skin. The campaign hat rides the passenger seat, brim curled, innocent as a prop. My apartment is a third-floor walk-up above a po' shop, smells of fryer grease and river damp. I lock the door, deadbolt, chain, then wedge a chair under the knob for good measure. The hat goes on the table, stared at until my eyes water. No reflection tricks here, just felt and sweat stains and a badge and dent that wasn't there yesterday. Sleep is a lost cause. I pace. Every mirror in the place, bathroom, hallway, the toaster's chrome, shows the same glitch. A flicker at the edge of my shoulder, campaign brim dipping into frame. I cover them with towels. The radio on the kitchen counter, an old transistor I keep for hurricanes, crackles awake at 4:44 p.m. Channel 9, naturally. Harlan's voice, warm and close. Shift change, partner. Clock in. I unplug the radio. It keeps talking, battery compartment empty. I smash it with the butt of my duty weapon. Plastic shards and silence. For 10 minutes. Then the landline rings, number blocked. I let it go to voicemail. The beep. Then Evelyn, 17 and sweet. You forgot something at the house. Click. Curiosity is ash. Fear is a tide pulling me under. I need answers that don't live in files or mirrors. The precinct basement. One last dive. I wait until dusk. The Sally port is quiet. Swing shift just starting. I badge in. Take the service elevator no one uses. The doors open on sublevel 2. Archive annex. Climate controlled. Smells of mildew and old paper. The lights are motion triggered. They bloom one by one as I walk the aisles. Box 33 to 33 sits on the bottom shelf, unlabeled, heavier than it should be. I drag it to the reading table under a single gooseneck lamp. Inside, not files. A reel-to-reel tape, quarter-inch, labeled in faded grease pencil. Levy interview. October 31st, 1956. And beneath it, a second item, my body cam, cracked lens, SD card still seated. I pocket the card, thread the tape onto the ancient woolen sack in the corner. The reel spin. Hiss. Then a voice I recognize as the desk sergeant from 56. State your name for the record. A girl, trembling. Evelyn Marie LeBlanc. Then Harlan, younger, gentler. Tell me what happened, darling. The story spills. Hayride. Offered ride. Argument over curfew. Flare gun. But then a third voice. Older. Layered under the tape like a ghost track. Blood for blood. Ride for ride. Soul for soul. The reels speed up. Tape warbling. Evelyn screams. Gunshot. Silence. Then static that resolves into dispatch code. 4 Adam down. Levy Road. Send backup. The timestamp rolls backward to midnight and stops. I eject the tape. It's blank now, brown oxide flaking like rust. The SD card from my body cam is warm. I slot it into the precinct laptop I swiped from evidence. The file autoplays. My footage from the bridge, the kitchen house, the basement bullpen. But it's longer than 8 minutes. Hours. It shows me descending the stairs again and again. Each loop Harlan older, Evelyn younger, the evidence board adding new strings, new photos. In the final frame, I'm the one in the campaign hat, waving from the back seat of my own cruiser as a new deputy. Shun, the rookie, drives away, eyes wide, radio crackling with my voice calling for help. Revelation is a cold blade between the ribs. The curse isn't the house. It's the story. Every deputy who digs becomes the next chapter, the next voice on Channel 9, the next reflection waiting for sunrise. Harlan didn't stay to close the loop. He stayed to pass the hat. I broke the bargain, burned the ledger, but the house just opened a new page. I look at the campaign hat on the table. It's pristine now, badge gleaming. My reflection in the polished bill shows milky eyes. I understand the rule. One stays, one goes. I went. Harlan stayed. But the shift never ends. I drive to the levee at midnight. Cruiser lights off, windows down. The kitchen house ruins are bathed in moonlight. Bricks rearranged into a perfect rectangle. Foundation for something new. I park, step out. The clay is warm, pulsing. In the center of the ruin, a fresh evidence box, lid open. Inside, a new hat, my size, and a Polaroid developing in real time. Me, standing here, hat in hand, timestamp 1 second, looping. Harlan's voice from the dark between the bricks. Clock in, partner. Sector 7's quiet tonight. Evelyn appears beside me, dress white, hem clean. She takes my hand. Her skin is warm, alive. One ride home, she says. That's all I ever wanted. I place the campaign hat on my head. It fits perfect. The cruiser radio crackles. 7 David. Respond. Possible 10 to 57. Old LeBlanc grid. My voice answers, calm, nostalgic, terrified. En route. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some shifts were never meant to end. The fog rolls in, thick as forgiveness. I walk into it, boots leaving no prints. Behind me, the cruiser doors lock themselves. Headlights dim. In the rearview mirror, if anyone looks at 4:44 a.m., they'll see me waving, waiting for the next partner to answer the call. The cruiser idles in the sally port, engine finally cold. Dawn leaks through the high windows, painting the concrete the color of weak tea. My chair is still wedged under the apartment doorknob, but I'm not there to see it. The radio on the bullpen desk hisses once, soft, almost polite, then falls silent. Landry will find the campaign hat on my desk come morning, sweatband dry, badge polished. He'll log it as lost property, file it under L, and never notice the new